Welcome back to Collector Not Hoarder. This is Tom. Today I'm going to run you through some 1800s baseball trade cards that I'd picked up over the last several months. I've been collecting these things for several years now, and I found some unique ones that you typically don't see over the last few months. And I do have to say, these things are getting more and more difficult to get at reasonable prices. Seems like there's a handful more people starting to go after these. Because when I first started, they were, I don't want to call them cheap, but I could get them for relatively good price. And now these things are going sky high for especially the ones that aren't super common. But I'm going to start you off just explaining the ones here in the back. In the back here are the 1878 H804-6 Forbes Company trade cards. It's a set of 6. These are a complete set. And these are all the Type 2 variation. There are, I believe, 3 different variations to these cards. And those are Type 2. And they're Type 2 because they don't have advertisement on the front or back of the card. So what I ended up finding is another complete set of the H804-6s. What makes these a little bit more special is I had my hands on a salesman's sample album from the 1800s that had all of his trade cards in it. And I no longer have the album, but I pulled some cards from it that I wanted, and there was a complete set of these. And you can see at the top here, it says specimen of number 367 cards, 6 designs assorted. So he would take these around to businesses and he would kind of share them with the business out of his sample album there, and they would decide what they wanted. So there's no advertisement on these. These are blank backs and no advertisement on the front. I don't know how a grading company would classify them. It could be another Type 2 because there's no advertisement, but there's also no titles to them too. So I don't know if these would get their own designation since they're a salesman's sample. But these were super awesome, very clean, and I couldn't have been more happy to find these things. You know, like I said, I've been doing this for a few years now, getting the trade cards, and I've never seen salesman samples of this set before. So, very happy to add these to the collection. Next is this guy here. I know this is not a baseball one, but it is a variation of a baseball one. So the one on the left here, this is an H804-34, and it's from the Pink and Blue series. And I stumbled across this one where he's got a sword in his hand instead of a bat. You know, I don't know which one came first, but anytime I can find a variation of a card, I love picking them up. The back of this one is blank, as well as this one. But anytime I can find a variation of something, I have to get it if it goes along with something I already have. Next is actually another variation, and this is the H804-5, and this is actually a 5B, and this is a brownish duotone of the actual set. So here's the set that kind of comes in a color version, and then you have this duotone version of it as well. And I think there's one other variation that goes to this set, but I just thought this was really neat to pair these together since I'd already had this one here. So came across that, once again had to add it. Oh, and it's actually got a really nice advertisement on the back. Sometimes the advertisement makes the card more than the front of it. And this is actually really, really unique on the back. That one's blank, but let's see. Next is an H804-19, and this is referred to as the Horizontal Brownies series. And this is just a really fun, unique card here. Not one you see very often. You can see it's titled Home Run down here. I forget how many come in this set. One of the things I try to do whenever I get these cards is, you know, there's a handful of them where I do have, you know, complete sets of the cards, but most of the time they get very difficult to find. And so I like to just at least get a type card from the set. So if I can find at least one from a set, I'm pretty satisfied with that. So that was a neat one there. And another one that is a brownie is this one here, which this is kind of unique as well. This is actually dated on the back here, dated in 1902. So patented actually July 1st, 1902. But what this is actually a coloring book. So here, I'll slip it out here real quick so you can see. And the brownie with the baseball bat is actually on the back cover. So that's a really neat image. So this, Our Little Artist, she's on the front cover here. And inside, it is a unused little coloring book. You know, it's not very many pages, just very, very small. Not a whole lot to it. But just a neat little piece to have. He's the only baseball representation to it, so that's why I face him on the front. I like him the best, but not something you see very often. Another one is a H804-36. This is from the Scorecard series. This is a little bit bigger card here, and you can see on the back is so it folds in the middle here, and so it would close up, fold in on itself there. But that's an unscored scorecard. I guess they would probably hand these out at the games, and you could score the game yourself. But it's a beautiful image on this thing. I think there's 4 different images to this series, and the batsman is actually my favorite. So, neat card. Another just kind of generic one. I believe this is from the 1880s as well. But, you know, some people think it's a little girl. I believe it's a little boy here just holding the batting stance. So there's ones that have trade cards that have titles and trade cards that don't have titles. There's a website called, I think, Old Cardboard, and another one, Pre-War, where they kind of go through some of the sets and then untitled singles cards. And this is just one. You know, like I said, I like to get type cards. There's not a set to this one, but even just these one-offs I really like getting. I just think they're awesome little cards. So, this one's one of my favorites. This one is definitely oversized, and it's in a really dirty case. I haven't replaced the case yet. But this is for Burdick Blood Bitters, and that's what the BBB is for down on the bottom. It has a pretty scummy back to it, but this was one I had seen a few years back when I first started collecting these. I missed out on an auction with it, and I think it's been about 2 years. I had a saved search for these, for this particular trade card. You know, just thinking I would just try to find it under this Burdick Blood Bitters, because I believe this is the most common version of this card. But there was like a 2-week span. I had picked up this one, and then I was also, this was 3 separate sales. Oh, that one slid down a little bit in there. It's kind of hard to get them to stay in the same spot. But I was able to get 2 others, and you can tell they are just definitely bigger. But these are actually really nice copies of them. These have great advertisement on the back too. So just a outstanding card. You know, sometimes the big size kind of turns people away just because they like things to be a little bit more condensed and more uniform. And when you get into these big sizes, you can get them graded, but my goodness, they come up with a monster case when you get them graded, just because you can't fit one of these inside the standard postcard size cases. But these are some of my favorites. I love these. Let's see. Oh, next is some labels that I picked up. Found some baseball scenes on some old cigarette, and I got a couple of cigar labels that I'll share here too. But this is I believe it's a label. I can't find anything about it being a trade card. It's got a blank back to it, but it's for Sunny South Cigarettes, and I believe Sunny South Cigarettes was from Allen and Ginter, but it's just got a really neat baseball scene on it. You don't see this one very often. I actually found this from a guy on Facebook, in a Facebook group, and pretty happy to add this. This was really neat. It just went along with the stuff that I had, and it's a little bigger than a standard trade card, at least height-wise, but definitely a cool shot there of a game being played. This one is actually a cigar label, and this is for the Sporting Beauty, and you can see here on the right, you got a baseball scene going on here, and on the left, you got some horse racing. So this is a die cut, you know, somebody trimmed this out from the actual label, but just that lady in the middle just makes this thing even more fantastic. The baseball scene is mainly what I was going for, but super neat card. I believe this is from, I think this was dated maybe 1896 when this label was from, but another cool piece to add. And then, let's see, I think this is the last one I got. It's another cigar label. This, I believe, is from the 1880s. It's for Our Sports. And you can see the baseball scene once again on the left. So if there's some kind of baseball scene, it's kind of what I'm targeting. But you got bowling going on down here. You got rowing and looks like maybe some poker, so some cards that they're playing. And then I like that down here, it's got the cigar box that's actually using the label that we're looking at right now. So it's kind of like a picture in a picture. But I bought this off of a guy that has been dealing in cigar labels since, I think, the 1980s. And he got this one from a salesman's album of labels as well, kind of like the trade cards I shared first in the video. But this is a really nice example of this. Very clean, very crisp. This thing is awesome, beautiful image. Yeah, these things are just great. And I think that's it. Oh, you know what? I have one more here. I was actually debating on whether I wanted to share this or not, but I'll go ahead and share it. This is for Yankee Boy Plug Cut Tobacco. This is not something you see very often at all. I've had this for a little while, but I don't think I've shared it yet. But I had it sitting here. I need to get it put away. But this is in an SGC3. The back of it is actually a replication of the front, so it's two-sided. And super neat card. And actually, I shouldn't even say card, it's a label. But I just thought that was a great image. I was really happy when this popped up and I was able to get it from the seller, because it's something I hadn't seen before. I know they're out there, but I've never seen them double-sided like this one. I think most of them that I've seen have just had a single side to them. But that's my last piece I got there. So let me know what you thought of that stuff down below. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, give me a like. And don't forget, there's a fine line between a collector and a hoarder. Which one are you?